Are you feeling tired even after using your CPAP machine? Well, you're not alone. There is a segment of CPAP users who persistently feel tired even though they are able to sleep their machine all through the night. Okay, so if you're one of them, this is what we recommend you should be doing. All right, so the first thing you need to do is to have your CPAP machine downloaded. This is assuming that your machine has a download card, this SD card capability. All right. If you don't have it, stick through this video. I'll show you another option. All right. You definitely want to get it interpreted. All right. So get it downloaded. All right. Now these are two different machines I just showed you. The first one was a ResMed. This is a Respironics. Now things are going to change as the years go by. The download capability will change some, as a lot of the companies for the future are going to be letting you have access to this data too, so you can do it online. But this is something that's coming down the pike. Now, what does it show, right? It will show you, it will show the sleep doctor that if you have any residual apnea. Now, once again, apnea means if you stop breathing for 10 seconds or more. Okay, this could be because you have a central sleep apnea. That means something's in your brain that's causing you to stop breathing. Is it obstruction, a closure in the back of your throat area? If you have any residual hypopnea, meaning if your breathing becomes significantly shallow, all right, that can cause your oxygen level to drop. Okay, when this continues for at least 10 seconds. RERA is another big indicator they look at. Shallow respiration that causes only arousal from sleep. AHI, which is a combination of your apnea and hypopnea. Large leak. It can also tell if you're using your machine, right? If your mask has fallen off during the night while you're using, totally came off your face, it will show. If it's still on your face but it's leaking, it will show actual hours of use. Snoring. Okay, there's a lot of information. Now, for example, take a look here. This is from the Philips Respironics CPAP. They could be anywhere from 6 to 20 pages, depending on how you want to put, how much detail you want. These are the kind of reports they go to. And let me show you a couple of things here. All right. So, typically they'll look for 30 days, okay, worth, or they can go back as many months as they need to, the doctor, right? One of the things they want to definitely see is, look at this. How many hours were you able to use more than 4 hours at night? So it's 53%, right? This is dangerous because, especially if you're in the United States and your insurance is renting your machine, a lot of the insurance companies now are looking for proof that you're using it at least 4 hours a day, and in a 30-day period, 70% usage. Okay, so in this case, this person will be in violation of their health insurance policy, especially for the first 3 months, which would then trigger a clause. No, what will happen is they won't pay for your machine. All right, then either you have to pay for the machine or give it back. So this is dangerous in that sense. It's showing also the average hours of use, right? It's about 4 hours, right? Look at this. Assuming that if the person is using it for a long time and they have an average AHI of 11, that's bad. That means the CPAP is not really working, and it's understandable why you are tired, right? This should be closer to 0. Now there are times when obviously it isn't. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But for the most part, they would like to see it closer to 0. All right. This You see this? I'm going to circle this. Average time in leak per day, 1 hour, 51 minutes. This is indicating that there is a tremendous leak, right? This would explain why the person is perhaps only using it 4 hours on average, okay? Why on average on a 30-day reading, he or she is only using it about 53%, because if it's leaking, it's probably irritating the person during the night while they're sleeping and they're pulling the mask off the face. It also is contributing to the residual apnea. AHI score. Okay. So you see, having a download is very, very critical. There's so much more that the doctor is going to interpret. I'm just giving you a slight example, right? So based on that reading there, we can say that definitely the focus then should be fix the leaks, find out why you're not getting a good seal, because if you have leaks, you're not getting full therapy. Now, assuming the leaks were low, they want to know, let's try figure out why you're not sleeping all through the night with your CPAP machine. We have to resolve those issues. Sometimes the doctors will prescribe a change in CPAP settings. Sometimes they'll order a different machine like a BiPAP, right? The other thing is we will also recommend that you get your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, your boyfriend, your family member, if there's other people in the home, to help you identify the problems. I'll give you an example, right? If I was using this and what I would have to do is then I would ask my wife, if you do get up in the middle of the night, for example, to use the bathroom, take a look and see if I'm using the machine or not. Okay. If I'm not, wake me up and encourage me to put the mask back on. All right. So these are different things you can get your family members to help you with. Now, what if your CPAP machine does not have a capability of recording clinical data? This is where you can have your doctor prescribe, either from the sleep lab or from the home medical equipment company, an auto CPAP, okay? An auto CPAP for about a week or two, right? So this is good. So this can track how you're doing and also figure out perhaps if you need a setting change. All right. So this is important. Now, if you have the higher end CPAP machines, especially in the Philips Respironics brand, they have this thing called CPAP check mode. I guarantee you, most of the sleep physicians are not aware of this feature. Fantastic feature, okay? By the way, if you go onto YouTube and type this Introduction to Philips Respironics System 1 Auto Trial, well, you see all these things here. You can see a video that shows you this. Basically, this can make your CPAP machine work as an auto CPAP. And you just try it for about a week or two, just so the doctor can figure out what should be the appropriate setting be for you. Okay, because perhaps you're feeling tired is because your CPAP pressure is not meeting your sleep apnea needs. So let's assume that you've tried all those things. Yes, you're sleeping at least 6 to 8 hours with it. Yes, you have fixed all your CPAP mask leaks and CPAP problems issues, but you are still tired. What do you do, right? Well, that means it's time to look to other causes that are contributing to your fatigue. All right, meaning clinically you are okay. Clinically, the CPAP machine or BiPAP machine is resolving your sleep apnea, but yet you are still fatigued. Okay, so you have to look someplace else. The most common place to look right away is what kind of medications have you been on lately? All right, because a lot of these common medications, one of the side effects is fatigue. For example, hypnotics, things, medications for the treatment of insomnia, muscle relaxants, you better believe it. that will add to muscle relaxants can make your sleep apnea worse, obstructive sleep apnea worse, and sometimes then your CPAP machine might not be able to overcome those sleep apnea fully. Antidepressants, okay, one of the side effects is that, and also a major side effect of antidepressant is dryness. You feel dryness in the mouth, okay. First generation antihistamines, okay, because they do penetrate the brain tissue. Here's another one, a big one, high blood pressure medication, all right, beta blockers. A lot of people with sleep apnea have hypertension. So if you have a beta blocker, you might feel the side effect of fatigue or tiredness. All right. And the other one is medications for pain management. A lot of sleep physicians also then will also have you go for cognitive behavioral therapy. Let me explain it to you. Okay. Number one, this is super duper very effective. See, all of us have rituals that help us sleep at night. Every one of us. Okay. There'll come to a point where in our life, sometimes these rituals or beliefs, things that we do on a daily basis that does not serve us anymore, no longer serves us, but it works to our detriment. Excuse me. Okay. This is where a therapist possessing this type of knowledge, they have a strong background in the science of sleep and behavioral change, will help you identify it and help you change your behaviors, all right, that are contributing to it. Trust me, they will help get to the root of your problem. All right. Now, there is also another phenomena. There is a portion of a population with people with obstructive sleep apnea, for example, right? They've been having sleep apnea for such a long time. It is sort of, for the lack of better word, I'm going to say it's sort of change your brain a little bit. Clinically, the CPAP and BiPAP machine is addressing all the sleep apnea problems, right? But you just are unable to feel wakefulness, alertness, all right? It cannot reset the clock, so to say. In that case, there are these type of medications. Just be careful. Some of these medications, they're strong. They last long in your body. Some of them last even close to 10 hours. All right. So, no, sorry. It after 10 hours, it's still halfway through its usage. That means you still got maybe another 10 hours worth of. You'll feel the effects of the medication. Okay. Once again, your physician will talk to you about it, and you should read up on it if your doctor prescribes any of these type of medications. All right. Uh, Side effects from medication is different for every individual. All right. But once again, this is pharmacological therapy. The other thing is you must be screened for diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes. All right. One of the symptoms of it is fatigue, so get screened for it. The other thing is please get a blood test done on a number of things. One thing for sure is your iron count. Okay, so you probably need iron therapy if your iron level is low, right? Your hemoglobin. There's various cardiac markers that can be tested for to see that if they're on the low side, they will contribute to your fatigue. Another huge one is hormone test. Okay, one primarily is testosterone. This applies to both female and male. All right, it's true. Yeah, men produce at least 10 times more testosterone than women, but in the early reproductive years, a woman has 10 times more testosterone than estrogen. All right, Both these hormones run through our blood, through our body, right? We need to check them. For women, especially here, loss of testosterone is the cause for a lot of the midlife problems like gaining weight, fatigue, loss of mental focus. Okay, in the last 3 months from the day of this recording, I have had three separate men, right? They were diagnosed with having low testosterone levels, so they were taking supplements for it. The doctor, had prescribed the appropriate medication for that. Okay, and that had significantly impacted their life in a positive sense. All right, and they are still continuing to use a CPAP machine. So please have this checked out. Now, this is something huge. Psychiatric illnesses, all right, they contribute, or you will find them present in about 60 to 80% of people complaining of fatigue, chronic fatigue, right? It was a fascinating study where there were 400 people went to a chronic fatigue clinic. Okay, 74% of them were found to have a psychiatric component to it. If you can see what I typed here: major depression 58%, panic disorder 14%, and the third one is somatization disorder, meaning they cannot medically find a reason why you're fatigued, but it is very real to you. Okay, but it's very present and real to the person. So please don't be resistant to the idea that you might, for example, have slight depression. If you're not sure, ask your family members, friends, trusted coworkers if they've noticed a change in you, a shift in your personality. All right. Don't be resistant to this aspect of screening out what else is causing to your fatigue. And finally, please never give up. Okay, please never, ever, ever give up.